Welcome to the riches era. In only one of numerous such scenes working out in courts across the U.S., Republicans who accept Donald Trump's unwarranted cases of a taken political decision and a deceitful U.S. casting a ballot cycle have experienced and impaired. Before we continue, please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more updates. An Arizona judge wouldn't need that Arizona authorities count polling forms by hand in November, excusing a claim documented by Republican candidates for lead representative and Secretary of State in view of bogus cases of issues with vote counting machines. Kari Lake, who is running for lead representative, and Mark Finchem, a Secretary of State up-and-comer, won their GOP primaries after forcefully advancing the story that the 2020 political decision was defaced by misrepresentation or broad inconsistencies. Their claim rehashed unwarranted charges about the security of machines that count votes. They depended to some degree on declaration from Donald Trump allies who drove an undermined survey of the political decision in Maricopa County, including Doug Logan, the CEO of Cyber Ninjas, who managed the work depicted by allies as a criminological review. U.S. local judge John Tucci decided that Lake and Finchem neglected to show any practical probability of mischief and that their claim should be gotten state, not government, court. He likewise decided that it is excessively near the political race to overturn the cycle. The 2022 midterm elections are set to occur on November 8, Tucci compassed. Meanwhile, plaintiffs demand a total update of Arizona's political decision strategies. Various responses have been spilling out web-based over the oath. Virginia Democratic Representative Mark Warner, who seats the Senate Intelligence Committee, said, "It shows up, in view of the sworn statement unlocked toward the beginning of today, that among the inappropriately dealt with records at Mar-a-Lago were a portion of our most delicate knowledge, which is one explanation the Senate Intelligence Committee has mentioned, on a bipartisan premise, a harm evaluation of any public safety danger presented by the misusing of this data. The Department of Justice examination should be permitted to continue without impedance." Meanwhile, North Carolina Republican Representative Dan Bishop said, "So much for straightforwardness," tweeting close by a photograph of redacted segments of the oath. Cleric is an individual from the House of Representatives Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee. Donald Trump's child Donald Trump Jr. repeated comparative opinions internet, tweeting a photograph of the redacted sworn statement with the subtitle, "Well, this truly clears things up." Taking on the non-renewable energy source industry in West Virginia was continuously going to be a David v. Goliath type fight, yet following quite a while of fights, campaigning and claims, 68-year-old Becky Crabtree thought the local area drove opposition had beaten the Mountain Valley Pipeline, MVP, in a fair battle. So when news broke before in August that the state's petroleum product cordial Congressperson Joe Manchin had revived the pipeline, Crabtree, a secondary school science educator who shows understudies the environment emergency, felt numb. Manchin, a moderate Democrat who gets more mission funding from the non-renewable energy source industry including pipeline organizations than some other legislator in Congress, had consented to back his party's notable environment regulation before the pivotal however, solely after he arranged a side arrangement to quick-track the MVP. "The injustice drives me so mad. It's an arrangement with Satan," said Crabtree, 68, who claims a 30-section of land sheep ranch in Linside, Monroe County. Why they are going after majority rules government. White House safeguards Biden's comments on Trumpism as semi-despotism. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre has recently wrapped up instructions the media and taking inquiries, and she was posed about Joe Biden's comments at a pledge drive the previous evening, where he alluded to the MAGA Republican way of thinking as much the same as semi-extremism. Requested to make sense of what the U.S. president implied by that comment, Jean-Pierre said of conservative Republicans, "He was exceptionally strong last evening. With regards to MAGA Republicans, with regards to the limit, ultra wing of the Republicans, they are going after majority rule government, they are restricting freedoms and opportunities, they are utilizing dangers of brutality, removing casting a ballot rights, and Biden called it what it is. Also, what many would contend, students of history would concur with us on. He accepts that presidents ought to be the most grounded voice for a majority rule government," she added. Jean-Pierre likewise endeavored to separate between what she alluded to as conventional, moderate Republicans and the Trumpist Make America Great Again traditional followers to the previous president. A speedy recap, individual crowd, it's been a sensational morning, and there will be bounty more information over the approaching not many hours. In any case, for the present, here's where things stand. Donald Trump has made an announcement about the arrival of the public authority sworn statement that supported the hunt of his Mar-a-Lago club and home in Florida recently. He posted it on Truth Social, his striving virtual entertainment stage that he made in the wake of being restricted by Twitter. The U.S. Department of Justice and the FBI had reasonable justification to trust that proof of impediment would be found at Mar-a-Lago when it looked for a warrant to look through the property, the oath notes. The testimony is loaded with subtleties that would give a guide for anybody aim on deterring the examination. The sworn statement helps us to remember the setting of the FBI strike on Mar-a-Lago. Subsequently, the public authority is directing a criminal examination concerning the ill-advised evacuation and capacity of characterized data in unapproved spaces, as well as the unlawful disguise or expulsion of government records. While people in general trusted that the testimony will be delivered, we likewise noticed that Joe Biden called the MAGA Republican reasoning semi-one-party rule the previous evening in view of the counter-fair endeavors of the more outrageous wing of the GOP that cuts unfailingly to Trump. We have Donald Trump's response on Truth Social, the virtual entertainment stage he set up subsequent to being started off Twitter over the Capitol assault affidavit intensely redacted. Nothing referenced on Atomic, a complete advertising trick by the FBI and Dodge, or our nearby working relationship in regards to record turnover. We gave them much. Judge Bruce Reinhardt ought to never have permitted the break-in of my home. He recused himself 2 months prior from one of my cases in light of his ill will and scorn of your number one president, me. What changed? Why hasn't he recused himself on this case? Obama should be extremely pleased with him at this moment. Atomic. It has been accounted for that a portion of the materials kept at Mar-a-Lago concerned atomic weapons. What's more, some concerned Emmanuel Macron, which, coincidentally, could intrigue Liz Truss. In any case, break-in not a chance. Warrant properly served, and so on, which is the reason we're. Obama should be exceptionally glad of the appointed authority. We may all recall John Roberts, the main equity of the High Court, reproaching Trump for alluding to Obama judges, and so on. We may likewise all recollect Trump's pride at having introduced countless appointed authorities himself, remembering 3 for Roberts' court. In short, adjudicators are not intended to act strategically, however they are politically designated. Of Judge Reinhardt, he made a gift to Barack Obama in 2008. He likewise gave to Republicans, if not Donald J. Trump. Connected to the oath is a letter from legal counselors for Donald Trump, whining of unjustifiable treatment and stating a president's outright power to declassify reports. The 2 elements of his reaction to the hunt and the cases of his allies in Republican positions and on the right of the U.S. media. The letter, endorsed by M. Evan Cochran of Silverman Thompson Slutkin White, starts, "Public confidence in the public authority is low. At such critical points in time, the standards and well-established approaches is fundamental. President Donald J. Trump is ahead of the Republican Party. The Department of Justice, Dodge, as a feature of the executive branch, is heavily influenced by a president from the contrary party. It is basic, considering that dynamic, that each work is made to guarantee that activities by Dodge that might address the previous president or his nearby partners don't include governmental issues. I allude you back to President Joe Biden's remark to columnists before the testimony was recorded today, when inquired as to whether he suspected public safety could have been compromised at Mar-a-Lago while Trump was putting away grouped reports there. "We'll let the equity division verify that." The legal counselor's letter adjusts to Trump's perspective that lawyers general and the Department of Justice exist to politically serve presidents. Biden's response represents commonly acknowledged astuteness, which is that the Dodge doesn't exist for that reason and is, truth be told, free of any White House or organization.